After a collision with a shipping container at sea, a resourceful sailor finds himself, despite all efforts to the contrary, staring his mortality in the face. This is my review of All Is Lost. Really, the only thing I heard about All Is Lost is that it was this small movie coming out, and it only starred Robert Redford, so it only had a one-person cast, and all I heard was that it was like Gravity, but at sea. Another thing I also heard was that the movie didn't really have a lot of dialogue. There were like barely any lines throughout the movie. So despite all of that, I still wanted to see the movie because of the fact that I heard that it was like Gravity, but at sea. And after seeing All Is Lost, I gotta tell you guys that it's a lot like Gravity, but I think that Gravity is a much better film. Not saying that All Is Lost is a bad film, because it's a really good movie in my opinion. The good points. There are a lot of good points about All Is Lost, but I think the major good point about All Is Lost is the acting from Robert Redford. Because Robert Redford was the only person in the entire movie, and he carried the entire film. And to do that, you have to do a lot of things. Like, you have to keep the audience concentrated on the film, keep them invested in the film, keep them invested with what the character is doing, and the challenges that the character is going through and everything, and the perils that the character is facing off against. And it's sort of hard to do that when you have barely any dialogue as well. So what Robert Redford did in the movie, at least for me, was to keep me captivated with what was happening and keep me invested with everything that was going on. The directing from J.C. Chandor was good as well, because he helped a little bit with Robert Redford with carrying the film to keep the audience invested in the movie. I thought there were these interesting parts that happened throughout the movie. There's a storm at one point, and I think the storm was one of the most interesting parts in the movie because of like what was occurring and everything, and how J.C. Chandor directed that moment and everything was like really cool, I thought. But overall, I thought that Chandor did a really good job of keeping me invested. Along with the directing, I thought that the cinematography was another strong point of like how the movie kept me invested, because there are these interesting shots, and it's like you're watching a movie and it's like, oh cool, that's a interesting shot and everything, and then like there are these other shots where it's like, oh, that's cool as well. It helped along with the directing and Robert Redford just by a little bit to keep the audience invested, and that's a good thing that this movie does with like barely any dialogue, is to keep you invested. The final thing I'll say about All Is Lost is the writing. I thought that the writing was really good, even though there was barely any dialogue, like I said. But the way it was written was really interesting, I thought. And from what I've read, the script is like 31 pages or something, and to me that doesn't make sense, because the movie is an hour and 40 minutes long, and a page of script is really 1 minute on movie time. So I really don't understand how 31 pages equals like an hour and 40 minutes, but hey, I don't know. So that sort of makes me wonder if they improvised some things throughout the movie that they filmed. Not saying that's a bad thing, but if they did improvise, then they improvised really well with a 31-page script. The bad points. So I guess you can say there's only really one major bad point about All Is Lost, and that's with Robert Redford's character that he plays. The thing that I didn't like about the character is that we didn't get his backstory, or like who he is, or what he really does. Like, all we know is that he's a person that's on this boat and everything, and that he must be wealthy enough to buy this boat or to own this boat or something. Also that he must have enough experience to be alone on this boat and everything. But we don't really know like if he's a family person, or if he's someone that's divorced, or if he like really loves his children or his family, or anything like that. Because in Gravity, I think the reason I liked Sandra Bullock's performance and everything was because we got a little bit of her backstory and everything, and like what she was fighting for. But in All Is Lost, not saying that this diminishes Robert Redford's performance, but we just don't know like what his character is fighting for. Like, we all know he's trying to survive, but like why is he trying to survive and everything? And maybe if the movie gave us like this small shot of Robert Redford in a picture of his family, then maybe I would feel satisfied to know this person's backstory and everything, because like I said, we don't like really know like what this person's fighting for. Like, we all know he's trying to fight to survive, but what else is he trying to survive for? So basically what I'm trying to say is like, why are we rooting for him? Like, we're rooting for him to survive, but like what else are we rooting for him for? My rating for All Is Lost is a 3.5 out of 4 stars. I really like this movie. For some people it may be boring, and it's not a movie for everyone, that's for sure, because some people may get bored because of like there's like no dialogue. But for people that are like moviegoers and like really love the movies and like to see all the movies from every year, then I think you'll like this movie a lot. And other than that, guys, that's it.